How would you like to be a more disciplined individual? I think if I stopped 100 people on the street and asked each one of you that question, everybody would say, of course. And I would ask you, in what aspect of your life? Every single one of you would have an answer. Some people say with their finances. Some people say with my fitness. Some people say with what I'm putting in my body, how I'm eating and drinking. Some people say with maintaining communication. Some say I need to do better with finishing writing that book or launching that course or getting my podcast out there or following up with my customers and my prospects. Everyone has some aspect of life in which they would like to be more disciplined. The problem is, and the reason many people fail to have discipline, is because you look at discipline as some type of punishment, some type of necessary evil that you have to go through in order to be successful in some aspect of life. And that's the very reason why you don't have any discipline, because your subconscious mind has been programmed to believe that this is some negative thing that you should try to avoid at all costs. And if your conscious mind is saying, I need to be disciplined, and your subconscious mind is saying, I hate discipline, it's a terrible thing that I don't want to deal with, which one do you think is going to win? Well, you know the answer is look at your life. The subconscious mind is winning. That's why you have no discipline. So what I'm going to help you do here is reframe the concept of discipline so you can start looking at it as an offensive tool, a weapon, rather than something that you had to deal with as a necessary evil and hold your nose and get through it. Because if you keep looking at it like that, you're never going to have any. So how about we fix that? Sound like a good idea? Good. Number one is the reframe. Okay. Stop looking at discipline as a penalty or some form of self-denial. Okay, I'm not going to eat ice cream anymore. I'm not going to sit around watching Netflix. I'm not going to scroll on social media looking at internet ass anymore. And you're looking at as some form of self-denial, some way of you're doing harm to yourself in order to get something better in the end. The problem is, again, most human beings are not wired to be okay with that in the long term. You may be able to do it for a day or three, but you can't do that long term. So stop looking at it like that as some form of self-denial or some form of maiming yourself in order to get future success, because as you can see through 30 years of your life, that doesn't work. Let's move on to point number two. Instead, look at discipline as an offensive weapon. You are using discipline so that you do what you need to do. Do the things that need to be done so that you can start living your ideal life. Discipline is the offensive weapon, because when you have discipline, first of all, you separate yourself from the average person, because most people have very little discipline in any aspect of life. Secondly, when you become a much more disciplined person, it leads right to our third point, is that you have more command of the room. Command of the room comes from having command over yourself. You can tell when a person is very disciplined and very structured and very organized. You can almost tell just by watching them walk by in the airport how disciplined a person is, just by the way that they carry themselves. Just think about it. You'll notice that you can. When you have command of yourself, you command the room. When you command the room, you command respect and the following of other people, which is what, especially the men who are listening to this, that's what you really want. You want to learn more about this, send a text to the number in my profile with the number 3. I'll show you how to do more of it. Work on your game.